did he really say out his mouth that black women aren't attractive? If you don't believe me what I'm saying, if you don't think what I'm saying is true, I want to let you see this video. Bring up right.
Where do you rank black women in terms of attractiveness?
All the way at the bottom. Now, are all black girls ugly? Of course not. There's some hot ones, but it's a minority. And let's be honest here. The average black woman's 187 pounds, loud, obnoxious, rude, fake hair. They've done studies on like a customer service, and black women rank the lowest for getting a customer service representative that's black, and then also waiting on a table of black women.
Yeah.
So servers say they hate serving black women the most, and then people that call customer service say they hate dealing with black women the most. So it's like, bro, what the is going on here, man? And then on top of that, black women don't have a general respect for masculinity because a lot of them grow up in fatherless households. They grow up being told, your daddy ain't your ain't then you listen to the music ain't and it's this like continuous and very pernicious cycle of just constant on men. So by the time she comes to you, she doesn't really have an appreciation or respect for masculinity and most importantly, your authority. So she doesn't feel as though she needs to submit to you and follow you. So these are just some of the issues that plague the black community. Again, I want to be clear about this. Is this all black women? No, but we can't sit here and lie and say that it's not something that permeates throughout the culture and isn't endorsed, supported, and most importantly, encouraged.
So that's, his name is Myron. He's from the podcast, or formerly podcast Fresh and Fit. It was real popular, but I think it got, I don't know if it's still going on because a lot of the stuff that he was saying kind of like that, but even worse. And just disrespecting women, doing all kind of crazy stuff. But this is the kind of speech, this is the kind of rhetoric that he speaks. This is the kind of information that he gives other young men. This is the kind of talk that he talks. So we gonna break him down. We gonna break some real players gonna break him down. First of all, number one, I'm gonna say my 1 point, then I'm gonna give my brother his time because I know he over there, he got something real good to say. First of all, I'm not if it's a certain type of woman I'm not attracted to, or I know that's not attracted to me, I'm not wasting my time talking about them. I'm not spending my time talking about a woman that I have no interest in and she has no interest in me. Okay. So for someone to go out of their way to talk about women that he doesn't find attractive and to put so much energy into it sends up a red flag to me. It sends up a red flag to me. I'm gonna start saying that right there. Right there. And now I'm gonna hand it over. I'm gonna give the assist to my brother and say, what do you think initially about what he said? When I sent that video to you, what was you like? What was your first opinion on that?
My very first thought was that, well, this is my personal opinion, that he's not a black girl's black guy to begin with. He's kind of like a weirdo kind of like dude. So I would like to see his background of dating, and I'm pretty sure that there's not a lot of black women in that lineup at all, because he don't
At
even sound as if he likes black women. Period. So I can see why he is so against um the black woman. That's first. But I'm glad he did kind of clean it up with there are a few hot ones, but they're a minority. Like that
bro,
that
please.
that that
Please.
statement in itself is crazy. Like
That's it's yeah, that's crazy, bro. But piggybacking off of what you said, he's not a black woman's type of guy, but I think at one time he probably did like black women. They just didn't like him. And that's why you've got so much vitriol, so much anger against them. Like I said, if I'm not I'm not attracted, I'm being honest, I'm not really attracted to Asian women. I'm not
Mhm.
really, you know what I mean? Okay. There probably some women out there that are really nice looking and attractive, but I'm not
Mhm.
attracted to them. I'm not gonna do a whole podcast disrespecting
Right.
Asian women because I know that they might not be attracted to me and I'm not really attracted to them. But it's no disrespect. The only way, the only reason why I would do that is because once upon a time, I really liked this Asian girl. And she dissed me. She so man, I'm finna do me some podcasts. I'm finna do some whole bunch of that's the only reason you do that. That's the only reason a man would do that. Is because once upon a time you liked black women,
Mhm.
but they didn't like you. And they still don't like
To
you.
this day.
To this day, they still don't like you. Like you said, just looking at him, like V said, he's not a black woman's type of guy.
Mhm.
You know, he's not. It's just and so to jump out of the window and say something that's so untrue that all come on, man. You're not fooling nobody. You're not fooling nobody. But I say this. This is the kind of talk that he does a lot. He does a lot worse than this when it comes to women. He does a lot worse
Mhm.
than this, man. He does a lot worse than this, and that's what really got his channel taken down. But man, young men out there, you can't be listening to cornballs like this dude because the only reason why he might be getting laid is because he got money. And if you don't got no money and you think like him, you really ain't getting laid. You really not getting no women.
Mhm.
Don't waste your time. You better start getting your game and your information for some real players and somebody who really get women just just based upon the fact that they can women like them because this guy doesn't like women. He doesn't like women. You know,
Especially black women.
I heard yeah, yeah. And the truth about it is how you don't like black women? Women get most women get their style and they flavor and they swag from black women. Look on the internet. Look, all races of women get they style from black women.
Mhm.
All of them. Who is Kim Kardashian trying to? Who is she was and is trying to be? A black woman. Like, come on, man. Like, stop it, dude. Like, stop it, man. Stop it. But what 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 would you say to to guys who follow somebody like this? Who follow somebody like this and who talks about women like this? A young because it's a lot of young dudes. I mean, he like mentors. He had a whole bunch of young dudes, man, listening to him at one time. They might still do. What would you say to them? What would you
Well,
say to them?
first off, you gotta be careful who you look up to. That's one. Like he basically generalized a whole group of women and labeled them as being loud, obnoxious, ugly, X, Y, and
Right.
Z. Like like how can you speak for that ratio that you put out there unless you've been with 85% or 87% or whatever he said? Like how can you say that about that percentage of women if you haven't been around
Right.
that many women to notice that? He can generalize it and say the
Right.
ones that I've dated were X, Y, and Z. Okay, that would make that
Right.
statement a little more realistic. But for you to jump out the window and say, "Oh, 85% are loud, obnoxious, they're fatherless, and all this type of shit. That's just ridiculous. But to answer your question, what I would say to young men that may happen to think that this guy is a good role model to follow, um, he's basically putting it in your head not to date black women, basically. So,
Right.
but at the end of the day, and all in all, you have to love who loves you, regardless of
That's
what how
that's
she
it.
look,
That's it.
black, white, yellow, green, whatever. You gotta love who loves you. And I just happen to be with a beautiful black woman. Now, if something happens to, God forbid, something don't work out, I'm gonna love who love me. And she does, if she happens to be white or
Yes,
whatever, hey, it is what it is.
it
I'm not
is
gonna
what it
let
is.
nobody determine my happiness on who I'm with. You know what I'm saying? But he's basically, putting it out there like, listen, you don't want this type of woman because of A, B, and C, and that's not correct. That's not right at all.
That's not. Yeah, that's not right at all. And I say that all. I agree 100%. You gotta love who love you. You gotta the women that are attracted to you. That's the pool of women that you that you
Hmm.
pick from. That's the pool of women you pick from, not the woman that you like and all this. See, that's what happened to him.
Right.
He might have liked some black girls, and they was like, no, and they
Right.
dissed him.
Right.
So now he got all this
Hmm.
anger, and now he got a platform, and now he gonna do, nah, bruh.
Yep.
Like Vern said, you gotta love who love you, and then you won't have these type of problems, and then you won't have this viewpoint. And and if there ain't no women in that pool of women, if there ain't no women in that area of women that are attracted to you, it's not women's fault, it's your fault. so many men so many men, young, old, middle age, they get mad at women because they not attracted to them, like it's the woman's fault. Oh, see, it's your fault, bro. It's your fault you don't got no women. It's not the women's
Right.
fault. If you was some hot stud, you wouldn't have, they'd be knocking down your door.
Right. Right.
You mad at them. You mad at the pretty girl that's walking past you in the hallway at work and she don't speak to you. She don't want to talk to you. Why you mad at her?
You're not her cup of tea right now.
You not her cup of tea right now. Do what you got to do to get yourself somebody's cup
That's
of tea.
right.
Please, young you. That's what you got to do. But I got another video from this guy, so we can really get into what he's saying and help young men and men just see that this ain't the type of dude you need to be following.
Women are fantastic at telling you one thing, but responding to something else favorably. I want a nice guy. You be a nice guy? Guess what? She loses attraction for you. I want a gentleman. You bring flowers on a first date, lose attraction for you. Don't listen to anything they say. The thing with women is what they say they're attracted to a lot of times is not what they're aroused by. What they're aroused by is a guy like me that tells them, shut up, you're wrong. We're gonna do this. Doesn't take their doesn't tolerate them talking back to them. Like, I look at women as inferior. You guys need to look at women as inferiors, because if you look at them as inferiors, it's a lot easier. You can go up and talk to them without an issue, be confident, you could be the masculine leader that you need to be. And I know some people are like, well, that's Myron. But men need to have this mindset because it's gonna take them off the pedestal. The worst thing you could do is pedestalize women, because when you pedestalize her, she inevitably has to look down on you. When she has to look down on you, she loses respect for you. You need to be looking down on her, because when men are in the position of power, when men are the ones that are being admired by a woman and treated like a king, we know how to act,
This
right?
nigga is this,
Hey, bro. This.
this nigga
Go
don't
ahead,
sound like he want a girlfriend. He want a slave. Like
man.
what? Like, you sound like a dictator. Like you
Right.
basically want a woman that can't do nothing for herself, and like she can't think or operate or do nothing for herself without you. Like, that's some horrible. that's some pre-aged as advice that he's giving. Like
Right.
strong women, black, white, indifferent or whatever, they don't want nobody to not put them on the pedestal or not or to look down upon. That's crazy. This is my first time ever hearing about dude, and
Yeah.
I have zero interest in
Yeah.
what he has to talk about because he's so far off base. It's crazy.
Yeah. And he had that's what and hey, I'm glad you said speaking your mind, saying your viewpoint, because I agree. But this man has a large following. And this kid that's asking him questions, he's kind of digging what he's saying. He's not really, you know what I'm saying? Like the first video, he was kind of giggling, laughing what he was saying. And then this video, he's like, yeah, yeah. No, man, no. This is not what's up. This is not what's up. You don't look at women as inferior. You don't, you're not gonna have a woman. That's not, I don't care if you're rich and you treat women like this, she gonna end up divorcing you and taking half of your money. She you that woman is gonna find a way to hurt you
Bro,
if that's the way you
that's
treat
some
them.
crazy advice right there. That shit's
If you if yeah, man, if you treat women this way, don't think you're gonna have a good life. He's lying to you if you think you're gonna have a good life treating women that way. He's that you're not gonna have a good life with that woman or any woman. Like, but these are the kind of these are the kind of guys who say they like women, but they don't like women. That's what people say when they talk about guys who like women, but they hate women. You like it's like, man, dude, like you really giving men a bad look. You really and that's what I want to say is that yo, all we don't rock with this. We don't
no.
rock with this. Real man, we don't rock with this, man. We see through you. Stop trying to represent all men. Say this is the weirdo culture or whatever. You call it something. Don't try to say that you represent men because you don't. You don't.
I'm in agreement with what you said in the first portion of this segment. He he got hurt by a woman before, and he's traumatized like a
Yeah.
motherfucker, and it's showing though,
Yeah,
like he was
yeah,
trying to be
bro.
this good guy and gentleman, and the chick that he
Hmm.
was doing it for didn't want that type of man, so now he feels
Right.
stupid,
Right.
and now he's really just going
Yeah.
in trying to tell people what type of a woman is. This dude said the chick want a gentleman and you bring her flowers on the first date and she don't like them. How do you even know that she like flowers? All women don't like flowers.
Right. Yeah. 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 You're not really getting to know the woman that you now. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. There are some women that that are scandalous or that mistreat men. Okay, yeah. Yeah, keep it pushing. Keep it pushing, man. Everybody been in bad relationships or with a woman that did something wrong. So okay, that's like these dudes who say they're walking away from women. It's a lot of men out there that make videos like that are really popular. That say that's why men are walking away from women. That's why men don't want nothing to do with women. Hey, if you walking away from women, newsflash, where you walking to? Huh? A man? Let me know. Let be, you're gonna give these dudes this information talking about walking away from women. Where you got them walking to? See, you got to watch out for dudes like that too. You got to watch out for those dudes too, because it's a lot of dudes that's preaching that. Like, yeah, it's okay, just walk away from women, leave women alone altogether. What, man? Please, Where you got them walking to? Into your arms? Into your bedroom? Is that what you on? Because there's only one. Is you only got two options. You got a man, you got a woman. No, I don't know anybody who just gonna say, you know what? I'm done altogether. I'm just gonna be a monk. I'm just gonna be by myself. Oh no, man. You want some type of connection, some type of something from somebody. And if it's being, with the same sex, that's your business. But don't disguise it as, oh, it's because of women. I'm walking away. Nah, bruh. Nah. But it's people out there that's doing that. It's a lot of janky stuff that's going on, man. And like I said before, this dude ain't fooling nobody. This Myron guy, he ain't fooling nobody. Some girl, probably more than one, got hurt, just like that Andrew Schultz guy, that comedian who always got something to say about black women. Like I said before, I've never dated an Asian woman. I'm not really attracted to them. But I'm not making podcasts about them. I'm not disrespecting them because it's all good. It's all good. I know what I like and what it's all good. But you only do that when you got hurt. When you did like somebody and now you got yourself a little platform and now you want to spew your little racist and thoughts and get out your little get out your little viewpoints. If I could give myself any advice, my younger self any advice, people say that all the time, I wouldn't have wasted my time with any woman that I liked. I wouldn't have wasted my time. I might have, she looked good. But if I would have seen that she wasn't interested in me, I ain't wasting another minute trying to talk to you. I wouldn't have wasted my time with that. So if you take anything from this video, take that. Go where you celebrate it, not where you tolerate it. You go pick the best one out of that group that you being celebrated. That's the one that you try to get with, and don't listen to people like this trying to give you some corny cornball advice about women.
Crazy, bro.
That dude is
That
crazy,
dude
man.
went
That
as far as talking about fake hair and all this. Like, yeah, man. He's traumatized from something that happened back in the day.
definitely,
I would
definitely,
I, I
definitely.
would
And
love
now,
to see if he's married or got a
no,
girl or
no,
however or whatever he's doing. Like, I want to see who he's
yeah,
with.
right. Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure he's not married because he's not married, man. This dude is, he's you don't want to see any more of his stuff because it gets worse
That's
than that.
crazy.
It gets worse than that. Like it get worse than that. But I mean, it's good. His popularity has died down some because of the stuff that
Mm-hmm.
he's done, but um he's still out there and he's still and the guy that was interviewing him is like the perfect is the kind of guys that take his advice.
Mm.
That same kid that was interviewing him, those are the guys that take his advice and spread that crap around about black women. When the kid that was interviewing him, how many black women do you know? You know what I mean? You too, the guy that's interviewing. I hope you see this podcast. How many black women do you know? How many black women do you come in contact with? Probably not a lot, because if you did, you'd be like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Because it's capped, because black women come in all, you got dark skin, and you got brown skin, and you got light skin, you got all kinds. So how you gonna say all of them are unattractive? Man, shut up. That's the biggest, that's the biggest cap I ever
Yeah,
heard.
that's
That's the most, that's the biggest, man, that's the most cap I ever heard. If you get rid of black women, boy, oh boy, these women would lose their, these white women and all these other women would lose their mind. They wouldn't know what to do because they copy off black women. That's all they do. That's all they do. It's the truth. They ask any black woman. That's what white women do. They just copy off black women as far as style, everything. So to say that only some of them are attractive, we know where that's coming from, sir. We know where that's coming from, sir. And it's not coming from a sincere and legit place. It's coming from pain. It's coming from pain. I know someone hurt you. Go get therapy for that, bruh.
yeah, that's
Do better.
crazy.
Do better. Do better. Well, that was this episode of the Raising Carter podcast. Did he really say that black women aren't attractive? Did he really say that? Or was he really just not just I would have had more respect for him if he would have said, you know what? I said all that, I'm because if he just would have added that in there, like, once upon a time I was attracted to black women and okay, I would have had respect for you. I would have had respect for him then, because something, I did and, the girl dissed me or what. Okay. Now I see why you saying what you saying. I don't agree with none of it, but I do understand it. Don't try to throw all these stats and statistics out there. Or they don't like serving black. Well, shut up, man. Shut up. They don't. Shut up, dude. But man, any parting words you got to say to the people out there, V?
um, if you want to have a successful, fair relationship, this dude advice on who you should date and how you should treat your woman is not something that you need to go by, because those that advice that he's trying to give with today's modern woman, that's not gonna work. So
Nah, that's
uh
not gonna work.
please don't take anybody else's advice, but not that treat them like they're inferior and they should be looking down to you and all that shit. Like, nah, bro. It's not gonna work. It's
Right.
2025. That old mentality of a woman should worship you and all that shit. That shit is that's over with.
Man, and he's not, let's keep it real, he's not black, he's like Arab or something like that.
Oh,
And
is
that
he?
might work over in your culture.
Right.
Yeah, he's not black. He's like, yeah, that might work in your
Yeah.
culture, but that's not gonna work. Yeah, that's not gonna, and that just proves our point more. That's not gonna work, like Vern said, with a black woman or a white woman or a Hispanic
Yeah.
woman. That's not gonna work in America.
Right.
That's not gonna work in America with any woman. That's not gonna
Yeah.
work. I don't care if you have money. Yeah, go ahead.
That's
What
true
was you gonna
because
say?
I work with a few Africans, and in their culture, the man don't don't cook. Like, the woman has to do all the cooking. So,
Right,
like you said, that approach to women may work where he's from and the women in his
right,
country or wherever, but in the United States, nah. You gotta be able to do the same or just as much as the woman that you are asking to do these things.
right. And one more thing, like that, what he's saying, like V said, is not gonna work, and and it's only accepted and recepted by naive men. You know what I mean? Naive and hurt men who any man who's been in relationships and has success and has a woman, or you're gonna already know like that's not gonna work. But his 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 approach or what he's saying only works on someone who's naive and who's also been hurt. It's not gonna work. I see through it, V sees through it, and any other man would see through it. But he has an audience of young men who are listening to him. And I just, we just want to tell you, don't don't listen to him. Don't mess your life up. Don't waste years trying to implement this strategy, because it's not going to work. It's not. Don't waste years trying to implement this strategy, son. It's not gonna work. You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose. So that was this episode of the Raising Carter podcast. If you like this video, check out the last video me and my brother Vern did, talking about another subject about relationships. And man, we out of here. Peace.